Have you ever walked out to your garden in the morning, coffee mug in hand, only to feel a sudden sinking feeling in your chest as you look at your favorite chili plant? You notice the vibrant green has faded to a sickly pale yellow. The leaves, which should be wide open and basking in the sunlight, are tightly curled, distorted, and look as though they are actively shrinking away from the world. The plant has completely stopped growing, frozen in a state of suspended animation. Your first instinct might be to assume that the plant is a goner, that some invisible disease has taken hold, and that it is time to pull it up and start over. But before you make that mistake, take a closer look. Most gardeners don't know this, but a struggling chili plant is often just screaming for help under intense environmental stress, and it still possesses an incredible hidden capacity to make a full recovery if you know how to listen to its signals. When a chili plant begins to fail, it communicates its distress through a very specific visual language. To save it, we first have to become plant detectives and diagnose exactly what is going wrong. Let's start by examining the young, tender leaves at the very top of the plant. If you notice that these new leaves are coming out curled, puckered, or strangely twisted, you are likely dealing with a sap-sucking pest infestation. Tiny, almost invisible culprits like thrips, aphids, or spider mites love to target the softest, most nutrient-rich parts of the plant. They pierce the delicate plant tissue and suck out the vital juices, which causes the expanding leaves to develop unevenly, resulting in that classic ugly curled appearance. If left unchecked, these pests will completely halt any new growth, effectively suffocating the plant's future. But the story doesn't end at the top of the plant. If you cast your eyes downward, you will often find that the older, mature leaves near the base are turning a dull, uniform yellow. This is a classic sign of nutrient mobilization issues, soil compaction, or poor root absorption. When a plant cannot access essential nutrients, particularly nitrogen, which is responsible for that lush, deep green chlorophyll, it begins a process of self-preservation. It pulls the remaining nutrients out of its older leaves to keep the young, growing tips alive, leaving the bottom of the plant looking depleted and yellow. This can happen because the nutrients simply aren't in the soil, or because the soil is so compacted and waterlogged that the roots are literally suffocating and can no longer absorb anything. To make matters worse, look at the ground surrounding the base of your struggling chili. More often than not, you will find an aggressive ring of weeds creeping in. Weeds are not just an aesthetic nuisance. They are active, subterranean competitors. They possess highly aggressive, fast-growing root systems that act like straws, drinking up the water and snatching away the precious nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that your chili plant desperately needs to survive. Furthermore, these weeds create a dense, humid microclimate right at the base of your plant, providing the perfect humid sanctuary for destructive pests and fungal pathogens to multiply and launch further attacks on your chili. If we want to save this plant, we have to systematically eliminate these stressors one by one, clearing the path for a natural, powerful recovery. Now that we have diagnosed the problems, it is time to take action. The very first step in rehabilitating our stressed chili plant is to eliminate the immediate competition. We need to create a zone of peace around the base of the plant. To do this, gently but thoroughly pull out every single weed growing near the stem. You want to clear a clean, weed-free circle measuring about 12 to 16 inches, or 30 to 40 centimeters, all the way around the base of the chili. This simple act immediately halts the theft of water and nutrients, allowing the soil's resources to be dedicated solely to your plant. Additionally, stripping away this wild undergrowth dramatically improves the air circulation around the lower stem, lowering the humidity levels and making the environment far less inviting for pests and mold. Once the ground is clear, we must address the damaged foliage. This is the step many people skip because they are afraid to cut their plants, fearing that pruning will cause further stress. However, the reality is that those heavily curled, yellowed, and damaged leaves are never going to recover their original, healthy function. They have become what botanists call energy sinks. Instead of producing energy for the plant through photosynthesis, they are actually draining the plant's limited reserves just to stay alive. By carefully removing them, you allow the chili to stop wasting its precious energy on dying tissue and redirect all of its vital forces toward producing fresh, healthy new shoots and deep roots. Before you make a single cut, there is a golden rule of gardening that you must follow. Always sanitize your pruning tools. Use a cloth dipped in rubbing alcohol or a diluted bleach solution to clean your shears. This step is absolutely critical because open pruning wounds are highly susceptible to infection. If you prune a diseased plant and then use those same shears on your struggling chili without cleaning them, you can easily introduce devastating viral or bacterial pathogens such as tobacco mosaic virus, which will ruin your recovery efforts before they even begin. Once your tools are sterile, gently snip off the yellowed lower leaves and the most severely damaged, pest-ridden upper leaves, making clean cuts close to the main stem. With the competition cleared and the energy sinks removed, we need to look beneath the surface. Over time, watering and foot traffic can cause the top layer of soil to become hard and compacted, sealing off the root zone from oxygen. Roots need to breathe just as much as leaves do. To fix this, take a small hand fork or a hand cultivator and gently loosen the top 1 to 2 inches of the soil around the base of the plant, staying within that cleared 12 to 16-inch circle. Be incredibly careful during this process. You want to avoid damaging the fine, delicate feeder roots that sit close to the soil surface. By gently breaking up this hard crust, you instantly improve soil aeration, allowing oxygen, water, and future nutrients to easily penetrate deep down into the root zone where they can do the most good. Here's where the real secret begins. Once we have relieved the physical stress on our chili plant by weeding, pruning, and aerating, we need to supercharge the soil biology to support a rapid recovery. Instead of reaching for harsh synthetic chemical fertilizers that can easily burn the fragile recovering roots, we are going to craft a simple, highly effective organic soil booster using 2 everyday kitchen ingredients: ripe bananas and unsulfured molasses. This natural elixir is designed to feed the invisible, beneficial microorganisms living in the soil, which in turn will unlock nutrients and deliver them directly to our plant's roots in a highly absorbable form. To understand why this method is so incredibly effective, we have to look at the science of the soil. Ripe bananas are famous for being packed with potassium, an essential macronutrient that chili plants require in large quantities. Potassium plays a critical role in regulating water pressure within the plant cells, opening and closing the stomata on the leaves for gas exchange, and strengthening the plant's natural immune system against pests and diseases. By slicing a ripe banana into thin, delicate rounds, we dramatically increase its surface area. This allows the water to easily dissolve and extract the potassium, natural sugars, vitamins, and trace minerals locked inside the fruit, creating a nutrient-dense liquid tea. The second ingredient, molasses, is the true catalyst of this mixture. Unsulfured molasses is incredibly rich in simple sugars: iron, calcium, magnesium, and carbon. When we add molasses to the water, we are not actually feeding the plant directly. Instead, we are providing an incredibly rich, easily digestible carbon and energy source for the beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizal fungi already living in the soil. Think of it as a massive feast for your soil's microscopic workforce. As these microbes consume the sugars from the molasses, their populations explode. This thriving microbial community goes to work breaking down organic matter in the soil, converting locked-up nutrients into a bioavailable form that the chili plant's roots can easily drink in. To prepare this powerful organic mixture, place your thinly sliced ripe banana into a clean glass jar or container. Pour in 1 liter or about 4 cups of clean, chlorine-free water. If you are using tap water, let it sit out uncovered for 24 hours beforehand to allow the chlorine to evaporate, as chlorine can kill the beneficial microbes we want to encourage. Next, add exactly 5 milliliters, or about 1 teaspoon, of unsulfured molasses to the container. Stir the mixture thoroughly until the molasses is completely dissolved and the banana slices are fully submerged. Cover the container loosely with a clean cloth to allow gas exchange and let it sit in a cool, dark, well-ventilated spot away from direct sunlight for 12 to 24 hours. This brief steeping period allows the nutrients to infuse into the water and jumpstarts the microbial activity. After letting the mixture steep for up to 24 hours, you will notice the water has taken on a rich amber hue and a pleasantly sweet, slightly yeasty aroma. Now, it is time to strain the liquid. Run the mixture through a fine mesh sieve or a clean piece of cheesecloth into your watering can, completely removing all of the solid banana pulp. This step is incredibly important. If you pour the thick banana pulp directly onto your garden soil, it will sit on the surface, take a long time to decompose, and inevitably attract unwanted pests like fruit flies, fungus gnats, and ants. By keeping only the clean, infused liquid, you ensure that the nutrients are distributed evenly and can penetrate deep into the root zone immediately without creating a messy buildup on top of the soil. Before we apply this liquid, it is vital to understand what this mixture is and what it is not. This is not a complete balanced fertilizer that you should use as a daily watering routine. Rather, it is a highly specialized soil amendment and microbial stimulant. It provides a quick shot of organic carbon and potassium to wake up the soil food web. When you apply it, pour the solution gently and directly onto the loosened soil around the root zone, keeping it strictly away from the plant's leaves and main stem to prevent any fungal issues. For a mature, recovering chili plant, about 200 to 300 milliliters, roughly 1 cup, of this solution per plant is the perfect dose. To get the best results, apply this treatment only once every 2 to 3 weeks, always combining it with consistent watering and careful monitoring of your soil's moisture levels. What happened next surprised me when I first experimented with this exact recovery protocol on a seemingly hopeless habanero plant. The results became visible just days later, unfolding in a beautiful step-by-step transformation. By day 3, the soil around the base of the plant looked richer, holding moisture more evenly, and a faint, healthy, earthy smell replaced the stagnant scent of compacted dirt. By day 7, if you looked closely at the nodes where we made our clean pruning cuts, you could see the tiny, bright green tips of new shoots beginning to push their way out. These new leaves were not curled or distorted. They were perfectly formed, smooth, and possessed a vibrant, energetic green color that signaled the roots were finally absorbing nutrients again. By week 2, the transformation was complete. The chili plant had put on several inches of lush, healthy new growth, and the remaining older leaves had darkened to a deep, glossy green. The plant was no longer just surviving. It was actively thriving, pushing out healthy new flower buds that promised a heavy harvest of spicy peppers in the weeks to come. This journey reminds us that successful gardening isn't about using expensive chemical quick fixes. It is about understanding the natural relationships between the soil, the roots, and the micro-world beneath our feet. If you found this guide helpful and want to discover more time-tested, natural gardening secrets to unlock the full potential of your backyard garden, please hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with struggling plants. Happy gardening, and may your harvest be incredibly bountiful.